Now I'd like to welcome to the stage Loman Henry for the presentation of the second ever Frederick W. Anton III Patriot of the Year Award.
Thank you, RJ. Last year, for the first time, we gave the Frederick W. Anton III Patriot of the Year Award because of the many decades that Frederick W. Anton III dedicated to this conference. And in fact, it's no exaggeration to say, were it not for Mr. Anton, we would not be here tonight. And that was but a part of his dedication to the conservative cause. So last year, it was very obvious to us who the first recipient should be. And we did manage to do something that has never happened before in history. We managed to momentarily render John Gizzi speechless by providing him with the first Frederick W. Anton Patriot of the Year Award. So that's a pretty hard act to follow, I have to tell you. So tonight we're going to give the second annual Patriot of the Year Award, which really in this case is more of a lifetime achievement award. And when you think of what is happening currently with the United States Supreme Court, and we are very hopeful that come June, Roe v. Wade will be consigned to the dustbin of history. It seemed appropriate that we should honor somebody who had dedicated his life and his career to that cause. So to that end, Steve grew up in Delaware County. He attended Villanova University, and he became one of the Wildcats' all-time fans. After graduation, there go Wildcats, right? After graduation, he attended law school. He later became an FBI agent. He married his beautiful wife, Judy, and they settled in Haverton to raise a wonderful family of 6 children. In 1976, Steve Friend was elected to the State House of Representatives. Now, some of you may remember Steve and his career. He's been out of office for a while. And for those of you who are newer to the scene, let me tell you a little bit about him. Steve was elected to the State House of Representatives and quickly established himself as a very talented and courageous legislator. His most historic labors were his advocacy for the sanctity of life. Pennsylvania's Abortion Control Act passed in 1989. That's the law that made it all the way to the Supreme Court, where most of its measures were found to be constitutional in what is now known as the Casey decision. Casey Sr., obviously not Jr. The year before Steve's Abortion Control Act went into effect, there were 71,000 abortions in Pennsylvania. The year after it went into effect, that number dropped to 36,000. It has not exceeded 36,000 since the Abortion Control Act. That bill has been saving 35,000 Pennsylvania babies every year for 30 years. Ladies and gentlemen, more than 1 million Pennsylvanians are alive today because of the inspired work of Steve Friend. And many states around the country have passed similar laws, resulting in millions more lives saved. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2022 recipient of the Frederick W. Anton III Patriot of the Year Award, Stephen Friend. Steve? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much. The best man I've ever known, the very best, was my dad. He, by far, was the greatest influence on my life. And one of the things he taught me is something by which I've always tried to live. When I was a little boy, my dad taught me that on this earth, the one person more than any other whom you have to respect is the one you see in the mirror in the morning. And if you can't look at that face, no matter what you've accomplished, no matter what other people think of you, you're a failure. So you see, as much as I appreciate this award, there was nothing heroic on what I did on behalf of life. I did it out of self-interest. For had I stood idly by while a considerable segment of our population was being systematically eliminated, precious unborn babies, irrepeatable gifts of God, I'd never be able to live with myself again. Throughout its history, this great nation of art has demonstrated a propensity for making mistakes, but then recognizing those mistakes and rectifying them. Slavery is but one example. There has never been a doubt in my mind that someday America will walk into the sunlight and protect the sanctity of all human lives, including the most vulnerable ones of all, the ones that don't even have a voice. My hope and my prayer is that we all live to see that day, and that we all can keep looking into that mirror. Thanks again. God bless all of us, including those yet to be born. Thank you again. Thank you.